So in the last section we started talking about scale factors with similar polygons, and now we're going to talk about dilations. A dilation is a similarity transformation in which a figure is enlarged or reduced using a scale factor not equal to 0. So that means our scale factor is either going to make our image get bigger or smaller. Our scale factor definition is the ratio of the lengths of two corresponding sides of two polygons or solids. So if we have a scale factor, which we are going to call R, this R is our scale factor. If our scale factor is greater than 1, that means we are going to have an enlargement. Our polygon or image is going to get bigger if R is greater than 1. If our R is between 0 and 1, that means we are going to have a reduction. Our image is going to be smaller than what we originally started with. So let's look at a few different examples. Our first example says find the measure of the dilation image or the pre-image using the given scale factor. So the way we are going to do this is right now, in our first example right here, we are taking our pre-image and we want to know what the image is. So if we think about it, if we start with a pre-image that is 15 and our scale factor is 3, that means our image is going to be 3 times bigger than our original. We're going to take our image is going to equal 15 times 3, and we get 45. So to write that equation more generically, we can write that our pre-image times our scale factor is going to equal the image. Okay, so if we are going from pre-image to image, we're going to multiply by our scale factor. In this example, it asks us to go from our image and find our pre-image. So if we have, using the same equation, we plug in our image is 7, and our image is equal to the pre-image, which we don't know, so I'm going to call it x, times our scale factor, which is 2/3. So now I want to solve for x. I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/2. 7 times 3/2 gives me 21/2, and that is going to equal x, and x in this case was my pre-image, CD. So CD equals 21/2 is my answer. Okay, so let's look at the next one. This one says trapezoid EFGH has vertices EFG and H. Find the image of the trapezoid after a dilation centered at the origin with a scale factor of 1/4. Okay, it says to graph the pre-image and the image. So I'm going to draw our graph. Okay, so to graph the pre-image, I have -8 in the x direction and +4 in the y direction. -4, +8, 8, +4, and -4, -8 down here. Okay, I connect all my points. This is what my pre-image looks like, approximately. Okay, if I take those points And remember, to find our image, we take our pre-image times our scale factor. So if I take my point -8, 4, I need to multiply each of those points, x and y, by 1/4. So when I do that, if I take -8 times 1/4, I get -2, and 1/4 times 4 is 1. So this is going to be my E prime, my image, because I multiplied each coordinate by the scale factor. So I'm going to do that for all 4 of my points. -4 times 1/4 is -1. 8 times 1/4 is 2. Eight times 1/4 gives me 2, and 4 times 1/4 is 1. And my last point, H, I get H prime, -4 times 1/4 is -1. -8 times 1/4 is -2. Okay, so those are my 4 new points, and now I can graph those. So I have -2, 1, -1, 2, 2, 1, and -1, -2. So you can see that my image looks the same shape as my original, just a lot smaller. So that's a good sign. That shows us that we did it correctly. So now if we are given 2 points and we want to figure out what the scale factor is, these are the steps we're going to use to do it. So to determine the scale factor, we need to look at the coordinates of a point from the pre-image and a point from the image. So we need the pre-image and the image, a point from each one, and then we need to divide the image by the pre-image. So in this example down here, if D is our pre-image, D prime is our image, remember that prime symbol right here, this tells me this is my image. I'm going to take a coordinate from my image, so my 6 goes right here, and divide by the same coordinate in my pre-image. So I have 6 divided by 8. When I simplify that, it's going to give me 3/4. Now I did that using the x values, but you can do that using the y values as well. So I could have taken this y value, plugged it in there, this y value, divided it. I have -2.25 divided by 3, and that is going to give me the same thing, 3/4. Okay, let's look at the next example. This says, determine the scale factor used for each dilation with center C. Determine whether the dilation is an enlargement, reduction, or congruence transformation. So I need to write down the given information here. And we have these given points. We know that D is -3, 3. E is 3, 3. And F is -3, -3. And then these are our given image points. We have D prime is -1, 1. E prime is 1, 1. And F prime is -1, -1. Okay, if these are our points, we really only need one set of points to compare to figure out our scale factor. So if we look at the top here, our D points, if we look at the two x values, we want to take the image and divide by the pre-image. So we get -1 over -3. We simplify that, we get 1/3. So that right there is our scale factor. And remember, our variable for our scale factor, we call that R. Okay, so no matter what point I would have used, I would have gotten the same thing. Even if I would have used my F, -1 and -3, I still have the same fraction. I still have -1 over -3. I could have used my Y points from E. I could have used 1 divided by 3. Still get the same thing, 1/3. Okay, we got one more example at the bottom here. This example says that Jamie is using a photo editing program to reduce posters that are 1 foot by 1.5 feet to 9 inches by 13.5 inches. So let's start with the original. We have a 1 foot poster by 1.5 feet. And he's converting that to be 9 inches by 13.5 inches. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get the same units for all of these, because right now I have feet on the left side and I have inches on the right side. So I know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I'm going to convert my feet on this side to inches. So 1 foot I know is 12 inches. And 1.5 feet I know is 18 inches. So if I take my 12 inches and 18 inches and convert it to 9 inches by 13.5 inches, I want to know what my scale factor is. So I need to take my image. This side over here is my image. It's what I am left with in the end. And this side is my pre-image. So I'm going to take a number from the image side and divide by the corresponding number in my pre-image. So if I take 9 divided by 12, I can simplify that. I get 3 over 4, and that is my scale factor. And again, I would have gotten the same thing if I had taken 13.5 over 18. When I simplify that, I still get 3/4.